Today was outstanding. And I got a new football team, right? And we got 59 new guys, and it doesn't feel like 59 new guys. I think we've done a good job of just integrating old and new. Our leaders are our leaders. It's good to see, Nick, Andy, Brendan Harris, Devin Curtis. Like, these guys were doing exactly what I thought they'd do. They came out here today. We worked hard, man. We got better.
How much of it goes into just learning how to practice with a new group?
Well, great question about learning how to practice with a new group. I think anytime, you bring a new group together, you don't want to see a lot of guys on the ground, right? I didn't think today we saw a lot of guys on the ground. And for a first practice, that's what you're looking for. You're looking for guys to stay up, and you're trying to stay away from the tugs and the holds, the things that get guys hurt. So I think we've done a good job of being in the class and, taking it from the class to the grass in terms of, hey, this is how we want to practice. This is what we need to do. I think one of the biggest lessons that this group learned today is that we have to master the tools of practice to elevate our level of play for games. That's an all-camp venue. We have to master the tools of practice because you practice more than you play. So, if we can get this group to give us, times 2 or times 3 of what we got today, we're going to be a good football team.
Coach, you've been with this team several months now. You went through spring practice, summer workouts, but how much more special was this day for you, this first day of practice?
You know what? You can get emotional about days, right? Because, a year ago I wasn't doing this. So, step on the field today, I don't take it for granted. I feel like, for me, it's, man, it's fun. Didn't think I'd be emotional on that type of question, but you look at it and the reality of it is, man, it's a blessing. So you take every one of these days, you don't take them for granted. We lost some coaches between last year and now, and so I take it with the full responsibility, man, of having fun, making guys better, and making sure that our program moves forward.
On these early days of practice where you're not in full pads, you're just in shorts and a jersey,
yeah.
What can you learn about trench play sort of during that time when maybe it's not going as full contact as it's going to be in game?
Yeah, that's where we talk about mastering the reps in practice or mastering the tools of practice, right? Because you're looking for power, arm extension, okay? A guy being able to anchor, the double team being able to move a guy, 3 or 4 yards. You don't have to have pads on to move a guy 3 or 4 yards, okay? I think I saw some of that today, and so that's an important part of again, mastering the tools of practice so we can elevate our level of play. And I think these guys took a great first step. So you're looking for it. We're working hard in this space to make sure that guys understand that that's what we want out of a practice, and they'll get a chance to look at it to see if they got it done or didn't. So let's try not to make the same mistake twice.
You said at media days you're a 4-3 defense with some 3-4 principles, and some of those 3-4 principles you're teaching is teaching more of those defensive ends, some of those coverage responsibilities. Yeah. You're doing that early in practice today. How are they handling sort of that so far with some stuff maybe some of them have never been asked to do before?
Well, I think having a coach who's played that position and like Josh Smith, helps them understand the details of it. It's one thing to drop. It's another thing, man, to understand how to get the weight down, transfer the weight. Where do you put your eyes? What do you do, man, at the top of the drop, man, in order to be able to transition to go make a play? These guys, edge players in this defense are special. Those guys got to be able to play the run, okay, man? They got to be able to make sure that they can, drop when asked to, right? As well as be pass rush specialists who have the ability to get the ball out of the air. So I think that position is a special position that requires a lot. And, coach to player, I think they trust what he's coaching because he's done it. He's done it at the collegiate level, he's done it at the pro level. And I saw I didn't think they'd be that good on day one, taking some drops, and they were a lot better, which means that the summer PRPs, paid some dividends.
What's the rest of the days going to look like after practice before school starts?
Yeah, you know what? We're in these days of one-a-days, right? But it's really, walk through in the evenings, and they have 4 hours before their next activity. So when we get off the field in the morning, it's about recovery, right? Then it's about nutrition, recovery, and then getting back to meetings in the afternoon and touching some walkthrough along with film at night to make sure we can put it to bed and get ready for the next day.
It's just kind of a two-part question. First part, talk about kind of a percentage of how many position battles you have over the next 4 weeks. I know everybody's battling for their job, but like just legitimate position battles, and also how deep this quarterback room is entering fall camp?
I'll start with the quarterback room. I think the quarterback room is deep. Look, we've got 4 guys, but Nick Badiato by far, and I say by far because when you look at his experience, when you look at like what he's put together, he's primed and ready. If we had to play today, Nick Badiato could play today. I think what he has behind him are talented, athletic guys, right? I mean, across the board. I was watching Xavier. I'm looking at like what's happening with Roman. I like that room. Period. It's got athleticism. We got arms. Man, there's a lot of talent. And my big thing right now for those guys is who is the number 2. So I think when you look, there's a 3-man race for the number 2 position, right? And all those guys want it, so we'll see where that goes. Everywhere else, I'm telling guys, if you're a skill or big skill guy and you don't start on special teams, you're not a starter. So there's battles at every position. Every position. I mean, on the offensive line, I think we're possibly too deep. If you look, we're longer than we've ever been. Okay, and there's battles. There's battles at centers. There's true battles at guards. There's battles at tackle. So we don't know what it looks like. We think we got 10 players though that can line up and play. And then the running back room. Good luck. I mean, gosh, I'm looking and hey man, don't have a bad day. You may find yourself 3 days behind trying to catch reps. So I mean, how good are we tight end? Look, I think Daniel Gonzalez, Will Holden being there, what we've done with TK Suttereth and what's happening with Jacob Coleman. And you look at the transfer, from Missouri. If I can honestly tell you right now, we're probably have more battles going on the defensive and offensive side of the ball than I can remember having any time in my career as a head coach. So Vandy here and even my couple of years at Auburn, there's a lot of battles going on. So I just hope may the best player win, but you know what? It's about depth, and I think we're securing that right now.
Thanks, Coach.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Marcus, we just talked with Coach Mason about the battle sort of going on all over the offensive line. You're sort of too deep everywhere right now. What's it like in that battle? Coming off the first day of practice right now.
I mean, I think that competition breeds excellence in a kind of way. I think that everyone being able to battle for a spot leaves no room for error in that kind of way, and everyone's able to say that they gave their all because they're all fighting for a spot.
When you talk about, Marcus, Coach said that this is as deep as he's seen a team on the first day of practice since he's been coaching. I mean, can you kind of expand on the depth, at least on the offensive line end?
It's great having that many people on the offensive line. Having a full offensive line room is amazing. I mean, you got young guys in there that are willing to work and kind of older to middle guys like sophomores that are getting more experience, getting more reps, and you have older guys that are willing to teach and lead as well. It's great also and getting some rest because it's hot out here. But it's awesome being able to have that many people on the O-line and the team in general.
What's the energy level for a real practice? How different was that from your player-led stuff over the last month or 2?
It was more intense.
Yeah.
We definitely brought more juice today, I thought. I think that player-led there's only so much you could really do. I think when coaches get out here, even though it's not supposed to be that way, there's a little more intent behind everything you do. There's a little more pressure. So I think we definitely ramped it up today.
And then, for you, Marcus, you're on the leadership council in your first year with the program. You're a veteran guy. You played a lot of football in your life. But how do you become a leader of a group with so many different groups coming together sort of right now?
I think it's one of those things where you look around and either guys respect you or they don't. I think leadership is it's kind of a who you can influence in a kind of way. It's definitely interesting being here and my first time being here and being on the leadership council, but I wouldn't ask for anything different in that kind of way. It's something that I've always wanted, and to lead men and be leaders of men. So,
what do you expect Coach Simmons' message to y'all is going to be when y'all get in the meetings tonight and going over the film from today?
I mean, so far we've already talked about how it was a good day. I think intensity-wise it was there, intent-wise we were there. We got to clean some things up. I mean, we're only in shirts and jerseys, so I think we'll be able to have a good meeting and have a good night in that kind of way.
Summer's a little different in the Southeast than in the Northeast?
Oh, yes. I mean, I thought the dry heat would have been worse, but now I can't even think now. It's so hot. So, but yeah.
Good deal. Thank you, man.
Thanks, Mark.
Andy, first day of practice, first day of fall camp out here, first day for you with the Blue Raiders in fall camp. What are your feelings coming off the field about how you guys did on the defensive line today?
I mean, obviously we're really excited, and it was great coming out on the first day. We've been waiting for this, and new team, a lot of expectations, but I was excited about the competition. I feel like the guys came out and did the best they could on the first day.
We're sort of transitioning defensive styles here. You guys on the edge are asked to do a lot more than maybe some defensive ends were asked to do in the past. I don't know how much experience you've got in coverage as a sort of edge guy, but what's it like, learning that and going through those principles right now?
I mean, we have great coaches with great experience. So it's easier when you have a coach that is like all about you. So for me, it's like I'm just going to listen to the coach, and I feel like they're going to get me in the right spot.
And you talk about Coach Mason's energy on the field during this first day of practice.
He's an energetic guy, and I feel like that's what we need. If you're going to win, you got to be able to do something you've never done before. So I feel like the energy rubs off on everybody. Like, he's high energy every time on and off the field, and that's what we need.
For you, just being here with Middle after being at Stony Brook last year, why did you pick Middle Tennessee? Why was this the right spot for you?
I mean, obviously I want to win, and then secondly, Coach Mason and the D-line coaches and Coach Hargrave and everybody. I'm like, the staff wants to win, and I want to be part of something great. I feel like we have everything it takes to make an impact.
Yeah, D-line's had a big reputation here in recent years as a difference maker on the defensive side, but you are sort of rebuilding with a lot of new guys and guys that have been here but maybe haven't gotten the reps before. What's just sort of the dynamic of that room when you got so many guys hungry for an opportunity right now?
I mean, iron sharpens iron. That's like the motto of the team, and I feel like when you have guys who are trying to get better and everyone's working hard, we all are going to get better.
Thanks, Andy.
Hey, Andy, can you tell him your last name?
Andy Wolko.
Wilco?
Yeah.
I want to make sure I say it right.
Wilco.
In silence.